Okay, we should start. You ready? Oh, we have to wait for someone.
I think we can start. I want to welcome you to another of our input lectures in this workshop and one of the yellow events on our curriculum. Today we have two experts in the field of new work, and with Daniel Schöning, our first lecturer. He studied design and architecture and combines in Offenbach and Dortmund, and combines his knowledge together with his partner in his office PLY into a unique approach they call Phase Null, which is an exploration of the companies they work for before they even start designing into the DNA of the company in order to understand what the unique necessities for that project are. I'm very much looking forward to his insights, and please welcome Daniel Schöning.
So, thank you. It's a bit a challenge for me today because I have to talk in English and I'm really not so good in it. So if I use some words in German, you have to translate, please. Is this possible? Yeah. Okay. Yes, my name is Daniel Schöning. I think you introduced me, so I don't have to do it. Today, I should tell you something about working, and especially for me, and I think it's the same with you, in these small things. My cell phone, I have all my data in it, and I can reach all my data, even private ones, also as business ones. So, when we talk about working, we always talk also about living. When I joined to PLY Atelier in the year 2018, my first task was to design an exhibition stand for Tonet. You all know Tonet? It's a furniture manufacturer, well known because of the tubular steel chairs and furniture, like this one. And they produced since the 1930s furniture from Marcel Breuer, this one, or Corbusier or Matsdam. I think you know them, but they are also well known because of their bentwood chairs. You know these also. You can see some here in the front. These chairs are from the early 19th century. So they get famous with these chairs. And I was wondering, because Tonet at the Orgatec, it was the fair, and the Orgatec is a fair for office furniture, and Tonet is manufacturing mainly furniture for private houses or for cafes, perhaps, like this. And they had, or we did the slogan for this fair and for this stand: Büros sind die neuen Kaffeehäuser. That means offices are the new coffee houses. And we have to ask is there anything on it? Do you think that our offices could be like coffees? You ever heard about the term third place? Also today we are talking about a third place, like cafes in a city, and we use these places also to work there. So I think there is something with it. You ever worked in an architectural office? It looks like this one. all people in one room. I think I like it. I have to say I never worked in an office like this, only in small offices. But I really like the atmosphere there because there's many movement and a lot of energy, and I think it's really good to work there because you're in exchange, you are exchanging news, and you are close to your colleagues, and so I think work can progress. Or is it your goal to reach in some time to have the single office like this one? This is the office from Christoph Liebensdeuter, who's the managing director of the Elbphilharmonie, and this is his office in the Elbphilharmonie. But also there, I don't think that he spent much time sitting there and working on his own, I think. And you see the furniture. This office also is for communication. Back to Tonet. You see on the top a painting from 1906. This is a cafe in Vienna, and you see there the wood band chairs from Tonet, and like in the picture before of this big architectural office. I think also here you have, and you can feel this energy, and people like to go there, and they are exchanging news, and they talk with each other, and this is a really important thing of today's work, even if we had Corona, and it's strange, but we need Corona to understand that it is possible to work at home. And so even now, when people are coming back to the office, I think many people split the work in the focused work at home, and when you go to the office, you have to talk and meet clients and meet colleagues. And so I think there is really something with this coffee theme like a office. And this in 2022, this is our newest project. We designed an office for a company called Ramboll in Berlin. And Ramboll is a company, a really big company with located in Copenhagen, but with many offices all over the world, and they are doing consulting, and they are doing engineering. They are building windräder and transportways and things like this. And this Berlin office, they mainly use like a hub. So many people from all over Germany are going to Berlin when they want to meet each other. There are also people who are working there the whole day, but not so many. So it's a hub, and we asked us how we have to design an office like this, and I think we also ask ourselves every time, is this an office who can last also in the future? And so I think like in every our office plannings, we have a coffee bar or coffee counter in the center of the office, and when people go in or enter the office, the first thing is to meet colleagues there. Some people they don't have their breakfast at home. They come to the office and check the news and talk to colleagues, and so you have a mixture between private and office life. And to be able to do that, we have these coffee counters, and around these coffee counters there were many different things you can work. And so you have relaxed situations. You have also closed meeting boxes. You can have a video call after breakfast, so you will find a box for this. You can have workshops, so you have a standing table, and you can have your workshop around it. And the interesting thing, this is really like, it's about communication, and this is really very near to this old picture from a coffee house. This is a project here in Hamburg, Geometry Global. It is an advertising agency, and this is the entrance. This is in the ground floor. You can go there. It's in the Kaiser Wilhelm Straße, and you really should go there. And you can go in, and you can order coffee, and I think you will get one for free. We thought we shouldn't do always these big counters. When you go in a company, you have the counter, you have a man or woman sitting behind it, and you have to wait on an armchair beside this. And we think it could be like this, because when you enter the office, you should feel a well-being atmosphere, and you should feel like at home, even today, when we are coming from home, and when the challenge for all employers is to push the people back to the office. But this project is from 2014, so it's not a thing that we are now knowing that we have to plan like this. PLY is planning like this, and planning offices which are really like home since many years. And it is like that in this office, because it's a main street before it, and there are many people are coming in, and they are ordering a coffee because they think it's not the entrance of an office, they think it's a coffee. And in the upper levels of this office, you find again a lot of different situations where you can work. So you can choose the place to work depending on the thing you have to do. So if you have to do the normal agency work, you can join this really big bench with 24 people who can sit there. In this year, this was the largest bench Vitra ever sold. I don't know if now they sold a bigger one, but these are not tables for one person. These are so-called hot desks. So you can choose a seat there. Perhaps you choose this seat together with the colleagues you have to work on this day. And so it's also a changement on this bench. You never sit with the same neighbor. It's changing the whole time. And when you have casual meetings, you can sit on an armchair, and as ever again you have a kitchen in the center of the office, and near the kitchen there are also we call it arena, a thing you can sit there and have your lunch, or you can talk to people. But also it's possible if one of your team want to give you a presentation of the news project, it's possible to do here, and you have the space to do this before, I don't know, 50 persons. Back to Berlin, even there, 8 years later, it's more or less the same theme, or the same, we do the same things. I'm not so sure, because this Geometry Global project is really a very free one, and you have no closed rooms there. There is two meeting rooms, but nothing more. And now we did it a little more like we tried to find specialized rooms for different kinds of work. So if you want to or if you have to do focused works, you have to be silent and be concentrated for 3 hours. You can join a focused room, I'm not so sure, because it's really only a focused room, and I think what's also necessary is to have very much of flexibility. But because we are, especially with Ramboll, we did now 4 projects with them together. And if you have a client and you do many projects with this client, there is a progress. And together you reform your design from before new again. And we do also, when we have a new client, we do things like a workshop before. So it's not that we have the opinion that we are architects and we know how office has to be. It's really, and also when I think to the future, I'm not sure how office will be. I think nobody can know it. So we're working with our clients in these workshops, and we will find out how do they work, what will the future bring, and in the result we have a draft for this office. And in this case we have these special rooms for these different actions, and because we have many people there coming for one day and then going back to, I don't know, Düsseldorf or Munich, they can have a seat here, and these tables are flexible, so you can move them, and you can also have a meeting there if you put them together, or you have your single workplace. So perhaps we can say that offices are like micro cities. When you are in the office, it's not like in the past, perhaps even not from the main entrance, but from an entrance hidden. You go inside and you go in your single office, and nobody knows that you are there. We think there must be a public place. Again, the coffee counter perhaps, and then you choose different buildings or boxes where you can fulfill the work you have to do, and also you are changing these places all over the day, because I think nobody is able to do focused works for 8 hours a day. There are people who say they can, but I don't think so. So you have to do or to mix the work you're doing the whole day, and so you are changing the place of work, and you are meeting people in the street, and you meet them by chance. So you know your colleagues, and I haven't seen you for a long time. How nice! And should we have a coffee or something like that? There is another thing. It was a weekend before this one. My eldest daughter visited us in Hamburg, and she came with a friend of her. He's a financier, so we are not talking only about creative people. He's a financier, and Lily, my daughter, is a psychologist. And after we had breakfast, they said, "Oh, there is some time left till our train back to Berlin goes, and so is it possible to work a bit?" And they changed places, got from the table to the sofa, and sit there for, I don't know, 2 hours, absolutely silent in the room. It was really amazing, because you have breakfast and you're talking, and then they, from one to the other minute, they are working, silent. They were really concentrated, and sit there, didn't even notice that I made a photo from them. And this is really normal. It's because you know why it's possible to have offices like cities, or to work on the sofa like this. Now the word for it is, again, my little thing here, it's digitalization. Because we have the digitalization, and we are able to have our data all over the world. It's really on your choose where you want to work and when. You can do it in vacation, you can do it in the office, you can do it at home. And, of course, there will be a mixture of all these things. So they are private in Hamburg, but they have to work for Monday, and they do it. And it's also if their boss is asking, how many hours have you worked this week? I think these employers have to learn that you can't anymore control your employees. You have to trust them, and this is a really new thing. We in our office, we have all the employees in our office have the possibility to do homework, and of course I'm not able to control time, but I'm able to see how the projects are going on. And so the matter is how proceed our projects and not how much time they are sitting on this. It's not easy because, of course, people are paid for hours and not for work, but this is the future. It can't be otherwise. And how to learn, how could we learn how we will work in the future? I already said I don't know it. I have my own Gewohnheiten, habits, yes, and I really often sit on a table. When I'm asking my two younger children, they say they have a desk, a really nice desk with a nice chair before it. They never use the desk. They are lying there on the bed. They are sitting on our table in the living room, on the sofa, but never on their desk. So I don't know, but do you think we will have a desk in 5 years? There are many people, I think also Birgit says, yes, we will. I'm not sure because, yes, we have chairs and we have tables, but I think this, when we are doing plannings now, we have to fulfill the Arbeitsstättenrichtlinie. You know this, in Germany you have the Arbeitsstättenrichtlinie, and there is said that a table has to be large like this and a chair like this, and it must be movable in the high and things like this. And I'm not sure, but I think you don't need this. And also these chairs on these tables, called ergonomic chairs, I think, I'm not sure, but most people I see, and it's also me, I'm working on one chair a few hours and then I'm moving, like in our offices. So, and I had many problems with my back, and my, doctor said, the best position you can have with your back is the next position. So, of course, it's not only because we are working like this, it's also healthy to work like this and to move and to change your positions. So, we live in a blended life. There is a mixture between all things. And, but do you think it's good to have if you check your social stuff in the office, and if you have a call when you're at home, I think, yeah, you heard ever of the term new work? No, never. New work. New work now is in all. When you're talking about new offices, all people are talking, and all architects and designers are talking about new work. And I think often, and so it's a bit. I was not so sure if I can show this picture, because what I want to say, this is also a project from us. It's again a kind of a hub at the Otto campus for the Otto company, and there were some swinging chairs, and when people are talking from new work, I think often they mean, oh yes, these are these new offices with many colors, with swinging chairs and sofas, and and perhaps also, what is it, this Spain with balls in it? But this is not new work. New work is a very, very old term, and it's Fridtjof Bergmann. He died 1 year ago in the age of 91. And Fridtjof Bergmann, he's an Austrian who moved to America when he was a student, and then he get sociologist and philosopher, and but he also worked in the beginning at General Motors in the fabric, in the car fabric, and he wrote in the 1977, so in the end of the 70s, he wrote a book, and after this he defined the term new work, and he's talking about freedom. So he worked at GM, and he also consulted GM, and one time GM wanted to lay off the half of the people who are working there. And he said, oh, we should try to find another solution. And he said, perhaps we can lay off no one, but all persons here should work half-time. And I'm not sure, but I think they did it like this. And for him, the next question was, what are people doing when they have half a day free time? Of course, they should also work because they have to gain or earn the same money as before. But now they are free to decide what they want to do with this time and how to split it between work, free time. And so he thought, because he saw this automation in the fabrics, and GM wanted to get off these people because of automation. They don't need so many people, and so he thought, when it goes like this and people have more time, what will they do with this? And to have much more time, it's of course it's of being free, but it's also a problem, because if when you ask people what are you doing with your free time, or if you ask people, you can choose between work and free time, and you can manage it on your own. Many people don't know what they really want, and this was this main phrase of or main term of Fridtjof Bergmann. He wanted that the people ask themselves, what do you really want to do? And the strange thing is that I think we forgot him, but now with digitalization, this again is our question. And that we all believe that it's normal to work 8 hours a day, but it's not so normal, because when you go back to the early times when you have hunter-gatherers who lived with their families in caves, of course they didn't make a difference between now I have to work, I have to go chase, and now I have free time with my family. It's all the same. And even 115 years ago, nobody had these fixed times to work. So when you are living on a farm, or even carpenters in the cities, they live in the house where their workshop is. So it's a mixture between all, and it's a split of time. You're doing this and this, and then came in the latest 19th century. It's not siècle, it's century. They came the industrialization, and now immediately you had places to work. And when you have places to work far from your home, you also need to have times when you work. And then immediately you had to work beginning from till then. And this changed, and today we all believe it's normal that we have a place to work and a fixed time to work, and when we go out of the office, we have our free time. I think it's not like this, and I'm really happy that it's not like this. And this again, like the picture with the swinging chair, is our project at the Otto campus. Perhaps I think it's I don't know if you're sure, if you see these pictures, that this is an office. I think it could also be at home. And I think when you are working at home, and now we all know that it's possible to work at home, and many people like it to work at home. And the question is, from many companies, how we can push back the people to the office. And perhaps one of the solutions is that when you go back to the office, your feeling of well-being have to increase. So we are trying to build offices where the atmosphere is, in the best way, better than at home. And we also think you can work even better if the atmosphere is relaxed and it's not a gray office like formal. So perhaps, and I'm really not sure about it, perhaps you have to answer this question. Perhaps it's you have your home, you have your office, you have also the third places we were talking of in cafes, and you have to, and you are able, you have the freedom to choose where I want to work today, and when I'm in the office, on which place I want to work there. And so perhaps this is the reason why offices looks like more like home today. And now I show you some more projects we did, and it is always yeah, it's not the same. I said to you, we are talking with our clients, and we are trying to feel what they want, and we call this process, or we defined it at as Leistungsphase 0. You know what Leistungsphasen, work phases are? You have it in Germany because here we had the HOAI, and there are defined the phases how architects should work. And it's, of course, it begins with 1 and ends with 9. And I don't know, in the past, architecture began when you have a meeting with your client, and the client says, I want to build a house and it should be like this, and I need these rooms and these rooms and these rooms. I think today the problem for many people or many employers is they really don't know exactly what they need. There is a big uncertainty, thank you. And so in this first workshop, we make interviews not with all employees. This is sometimes not possible if it's a big company, but we try to have a member from all teams, and we talk with them. We ask them, how do you work? What do you think? How will you work in the future? How many time you would like to spend at home? How many time you would like to spend in the office? We ask the employer itself how many times you want to have your people in the office. And then we are trying to fulfill all these wishes to have an office which fits exactly to this company. So this one, it was for Deloitte Digital in Düsseldorf. Deloitte is also a company with many offices all over Germany. And the digital team was a new one, and also there they want to define another kind of office. And so we have rooms with different boxes, and again with different possibilities to work. And so it's also these boxes are, again, like the buildings in the city perhaps, are with different materials, and so the design of the office is. And you have also boxes like this one. It's not only a meeting box, it's also a sleeping box, because they have many employees in USA, and when the plane in Düsseldorf is landing, it's mostly at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then they go to their office and nobody is there, and they have to wait. And because they are jet lagged, they can sleep for 2 hours, and at 9 o'clock they can have the meetings with their Düsseldorf colleagues. And what we wanted to reach here, because we didn't know, and also the client didn't know, how will these digital colleagues work in this office. So we said we have to be we have to build a really high flexibility. So we put all furniture on wheels. We have walls you can move. You have even shelves you can move. So we tried to give them an office which can be or which can adapt to different rooms or possibilities. And so this office has also a room like this. If you are open these walls, you have a really big room with 12 or more people in it, and you can even close these walls. Then you have 3 small office rooms for only 4 persons. This is a headquarter we built for Ramboll here in Hamburg. And here the system is a bit different. We tried to have, it was from the beginning on, it was that clear that they don't want to have any closed rooms as offices. So the people, or we had to build an open plan office, and we tried to give certain open plan office sections, and we divided them with meeting rooms, and also with these thing, we called it really woodworm, or it's a snake from wood, which is going through the whole office. So near the windows, all these white areas are the areas where we have tables near the window, and the ground floor here was so wide that we can have a room in the middle. And this room divides the people sitting here and here, and so we have not so much noise, and we have defined groups and not so many people sitting together. But all these desks are also hot desks, so they have a thing called, how do they call it? Home zones. For a group of people, because they have people working on these Windkrafträder, what was it? And people who are working on bridges, and people who are consulting and things like this. So these are the home zones, but because they never know how many people will come in the office, these home zones can breathe, so to say. They can get wider and smaller. And so we have again the mixture of different home zones, and so you will know your colleagues. So we have the working places there in the middle, our woodworm. also with closed rooms, but also with sofas like here, and we have telephone boxes, meeting rooms, rooms for video calls. And also here, we have, when you come in the office, the first thing you see is also here a thing, we call it cafeteria. It's a coffee counter, and it's like a bistro where you can sit and where you can have casual meetings and where you meet your colleagues, where you can have lunchtime. We have also, behind this coffee counter, there is a professional kitchen. So when they have some events, they can use this place for town halls and for things like this. This is our project for the Tempo Werk. It's a what is it? A thing it's in Harburg, and there I think 600 companies are working, small companies, and so we have many people, 2,000 people, and this is the center of it. The managing director of all this area has his office there, and many of these tenants there are coming in the office and have to talk and are asking for their Verträge, and they have problems how there is no more water or there is no more heating, and so there's many movement. And when we saw this office before, it was a really normal office, which you come in a small entrance. You had a corridor. You have a little kitchen to present some coffee. But we said when your clients enter in your office, you have to give them a thing like a cafeteria. You can present, you can offer them a coffee or water or tea, and you can sit there and have your first small talks. But sorry, but there are also again little different corners you can sit with them. And there was one strange thing, again, in our workshop we did before. We sat together with these 20 people who are working there, and they said, it's impossible that we have an open plan office. We need our private office, because when we have our clients, we have to invite them in our office, we have to talk with them confidential, and we have to close our door, and we have so much telephone calls to do, then we have to close our door, and it's not possible that we are working without this. So we designed the office with these offices, but these offices are really small. They only have a table and a little shelf in it, and because they have so many tenants, and all the things with the tenants are made with paper still. So we gave them a movable shelf like this, where all the files are. And we have a big table there, and when they have to look in these files, they have to leave their office, and they are sitting on this table to look in their files and to talk with the clients. And then a colleague has the same thing to do, though, is coming out and is also sitting there. So we provozieren that the people going out of the office and have to talk with each other. And it is really, and I will end with this, it is really a success for me, because in this case we had a lot to talk with the main assistant of Christoph Birkel, the managing director is called, and his assistant Dorothea. She phoned me some months after we finished this office, and she said, "Daniel, you won't believe it, but our doors, they are always open. And so it's like an open office, but it's not planned like this. And because we hoped it would go like this, we don't give them one door, we gave them a double door, and when it is open, the office is really open. So, thank you. Any questions? Any terms you didn't understand? You would to work like this? Yes, please. Oh, no. Our office is in a formal Fischräucherei. Who can translate this? Yeah, so it's a really big hall with 5 to 7 meter high and one big room. And we have got really the problem that when we have phone calls or video calls, we have one little meeting room. And so we have also our video calls sometimes in the office or beside the office on the sofa. But this is really one big room, and we have to do all our stuff in this room. And even if because we also like to have coffee, and even, you know, because we like good coffee, we have a mill to make the coffee, and when somebody's making coffee, it's really loud inside. But believe it or not, it's for me, I don't hear it anymore. It's really so normal, and we are in this big room all together, and I like it really. Yes, it's to really to know the company, and it's because, as I said, I really don't know how an office has to be. I think there are many architects thinking, yes, I'm building a big skyscraper and everyone can see it, and our principle is other. We think we have, in this first phase, we have to hear, we have to listen, we have to feel what this company is like and what they need. And then we try to give them exact these things, but we are not only hearing, it's also consulting when we say times are changing. You will have more or less home office. You must be sure about that. The working is changing. It will not be the same in 5 years.
How you do it, the format of getting that out of the people, and probably the problem that people can imagine what they don't know, which is your past.
Yes. So. It's a meeting, and in this meeting we are presenting offices like here today, so that they can see what we are doing, and then we are talking about this, and we are talking about the existing office of this company. And so we try to find out what our draft should be.
Is there often a contradiction between what the, let's say, chief want or
Yes, and yes, it's a little bit funny because the managing directors, mainly they come to us and say we have to change our office. It can't exist like this anymore because it don't function like this. And then when we ask the employees if they could imagine to work on a place like this, or better like before, with outdoors, they say impossible. It's not possible because I need my single office. And of course, it's also a thing of hierarchy. And when you for me, these are all times. So also me, I'm sitting on the big bench with all my colleagues and employees. But in the past, it was like you got in a big company, and you're sitting in the bad open space area. But then you are growing up, and the goal is finally to reach this main single office. And so it's really for many people, employees, they don't like our plannings because they think, I can't sit in an open space like this. Yeah, yes. Yes, of course. But both. It's listening and consulting.
Can you say something about learning? In a traditional office, there was also something about intergenerational exchange, that when you started in the office, that you would be taken along, and that you would also learn from what the people who have been there longer would do. In a world where everything happens inside your devices, you have to organize that in a different way, because it doesn't automatically happen being in the same room. Doing these different offices, do you have detected a pattern how the work around that problem might look like?
Now, it is a problem, and it is mainly a problem when you have single offices, and it's also a problem now with home office. We got a new employee in Corona times, and for us to go with the start of Corona, to go all in the home office, this was no problem, because we knew each other and we knew what are the facilities or the from each person. But this new person, he was really lost, because he can't ask anyone. He was and he did the good work, but he was so insecure if this what he did fits to our work. And so it's really necessary that you have the office and you can work there. And I think when you have offices like this, and when you have offices which function is like in a city with these different places and with movement, and you are changing places and you're talking to all your colleagues, this is one possibility to have this exchange. Yeah.
And how to look at your office? Is it like that the employees have to be there from a certain time to a certain time? Or are they allowed to come whenever they want to, and they just have to focus on their projects, and the projects are nicely done, and so they can leave earlier?
Yeah, it's really, it's really flexible. We also talked about it, because just after Corona, also in our office, it was like many people were more at home than in the office, and then we imagined that there could be some problems, that the team is breaking off. But now, and we decided everyone can have home office if we want, but I have an eye on how much is it, but you're really free, and if you have private appointments, if you have to go to the doctor, if you are coming later in the morning, this is it's really flexible. And before I was at PLY, we had I was in an architectural office with 20 people. We did normal architecture, not interior, and we had a system where you have to sign in when you're arriving in the and and it was really, for my partner there, it was really important that he can control, are these people really for 8 hours in the office? And yeah, because I don't think that this is the point. I don't control it, or I don't look at this. But when, of course, the hours we put in a project, at the end I can see how many hours in this project, and this is not important, because I want to know if this people had worked on this project for so long, or no, if they had their 8 hours. But it's necessary to know how many time we are spending in a project, because when there are too many hours, we don't gain enough money for it, and so I have to check it. And this is what I check, and it's, for me, it's really nice if they spend not so many hours for a really good project. And so this is a better way. When a person can do a project in 4 hours a day, it's better for me also when somebody needs 8 hours, but there is no progress in the project.
Do you think that this paradigm or this paradigm will change in like the whole society? Because right now it's still like you have to go to the office to work 14 hours a day and you get paid for that. But
I think it will change. There's another thing I remember in this moment. I have to warn my employees sometimes. They call me and say, "Oh, today I'm feeling a little bit ill, but I have my laptop at home. I can work." And I say, "No, you have to decide when you are ill. You don't have to work, even if you have your laptop at home." So the engagement, or for working, or the Eigeninitiative, to do it, is really higher, I think. And then back to your question, it was?
if you think that this whole
yeah.
society as a whole is still this old model, like
Yes, I think so, and I think that people in my generation won't do it like this. But again, when I'm observing my children, it's really so normal to work on every place, every time, and they are traveling and they are visiting their parents or friends, and all the time they are working and they are online. It's of course, it's also to have this freedom. It's also dangerous, because there are, and also in our office there are employees who says that it's really hard to find the distance to the work. Yeah, and there's also one last little story. I brought you. Oh yes, I have some more stories I wanted to tell you. You know what this is? When I grew up, my mother is also an architect. She always sit on her desk and signed with Rapidographen. You know also this? And they did on all the plans, they did the words, and I was so fascinated. I ever wanted to do this also, but I never did it, and I'm not able to do it. This is also the question how we will work in 10 years, and we had to write an article for this book, and to do this we did a workshop in our office, and I began this workshop with saying, so we learned in Corona that we don't need an office, so we are going to close our office. We are all working at home. We are really well connected with video calls, and when we have a meeting, we can meet us in a cafe. or we can, when it's a formal meeting, we can rent a meeting room. And the people that it's not possible. It's not possible. We can't do this. We need our office because we have to talk with each other. We have to have our materials. We have to have this place, and we can't give it up. And there is one really important thing about this, because all these little and perhaps also private conversations you do, when you have video calls, you can talk about a project, but you never have these little words beside, and there, when we are sitting on our big bench, there's somebody designing a thing, and he's asking, likely by himself, oh, I don't know which material I could, and then other persons, oh, I know what, and they are talking, and it's really by chance, this conversation, and it's so important when you have to work in progress.
In the development of this course, we looked at different companies, and it seemed to us at the time that it's easier to make that differentiation if the work they do is has a clear output. For example, in a digital company, they will sit down and say, we're programming this and this and this, and they you've either done it or not, and you can control it on the written code, and it has nothing to do in which position you do it or how, so you can line it or but in a less defined output, then the 8 hours and how you perform at work becomes more important, because the work itself is not as clearly yes or no. Have you done it or have you not done it? Is that an experience
We are also designing an office for Hamburg department, for the Behörde. And perhaps you're talking about this work because we know that these people in the departments are well known for really working 8 hours and not a minute more. But also they are asking for other offices, and also they had their people in home office, and also they realized that it's possible to work at home, and that the output is not it's not less than when they are in the office. So yeah, I don't know. I think when you have to work, you always have an output, or not? What work could it be without an output you can measure? Yes, but what is of course, but what is important by consulting? It's that you are doing this for 8 hours, or it is that your clients are happy and are well consulted.
But that you already know in the distance. I mean that like if you hand in an architectural project, you hand it in let's say 8 weeks time.
Mm. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I've no answer to it. I think. Yeah. Yeah. Really. Yeah, I think. Yeah, your thinking is changing. When you have to work for 8 hours, you look at the work. Oh, it's 5 o'clock in the evening. I can leave work because what I have to do, I did. I was there for 8 hours. But when this regulation didn't exist anymore, you're asking, now I'm sitting on this project and I have to ask myself if I have a good output, because it don't depend on the hour, it depends now on the output.
Now our laws don't allow to measure output.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, but we are looking into the future. I think this has to be changed.
I have a question. So how many fixed work, do you still calculate how many workspaces are in an office? So is there still like some of them
Yes.
200 chairs? Or
Yeah.
is it like I need 200 workspaces and additional I need sofas?
Yeah, we call it Gelegenheitsarbeitsplätze. Who's my translator? Yeah, because today when you are planning an office, you have to show that you have so many desks, and when you are planning a desk, it has to be conform with the Arbeitsstättenrichtlinie, and this is and we say. Yeah, there is home office and there is the principle of shared desk, and so we give you a count of desks gemäß Arbeitsstättenrichtlinie, but then you have a certain kind of Gelegenheitsarbeitsplätze, and we count it. It's really not easy, because you can't count every seat you have. If you count every seat, never so many people would go in this office. So we are counting, or we are looking at the sections with these Gelegenheitsarbeitsplätze, and we say, yeah, in the highest time there could sit 7 people, and here 6 people, and here even if you have 20 places. And so we are say to our client, at the meantime, or on one day, you can have 350 people in this office, even if there are only 100 desks. Because, even because of Corona, the focused work is done at home, and you go to the office when you have meetings. And there are so many people who go there for a meeting, then they have 1 or 2 hours between 2 meetings, and they don't need a desk in this time. It's really okay when they are sitting on a sofa in the cafeteria and check their emails and or talking to colleagues and do things like this. And so you can have, and this is really new, you can have more people in the office as desks you have there.
So in this case, there's no regulation, right? So you as an employee.
No. With them? Yeah, how? No, it's not. So, if you are counting these Gelegenheitsarbeitsplätze, of course, you know you don't have to reach the highest possibility. And this, with these places, you have a flexibility, but we don't build offices which can grow and going smaller. If you meant this. Thank you.